Good evening, everyone. It's June 25th, 2019. So, the war rhetoric is ramping up today. Does that mean we're going to go to war? Well, it ramped up against North Korea. We didn't go to war with them, did we? But it's possible. And it is on the list of countries to be subjugated. But here's the thing. Donald Trump said that Iran supports terrorism. Well, our country has been supporting terrorism for quite some time now. They've made deals with all kinds of shady individuals. Al-Qaeda comes to mind, and they've openly admitted that they fund Al-Qaeda. What about others? I mean, there's lots of them. But, let's destroy somebody else's country because they support terrorism, supposedly, and want nuclear weapons. Allow me to point out that, we are the only country to ever use nuclear weapons on someone else, on another country. They talk about the death toll of Assad and others, but they never mention the death toll of Hiroshima or Nagasaki. So, and by the way, it was really unnecessary for them to do. You had a president warn back, in the late 40s, 50s? I'm not good with dates. Warn about the military-industrial complex. And every time economies start going downhill, one of the ways they kind of help it out is war. They can go over there and plunder Iran, right? Like they did Iraq, steal their oil fields for our corporations, which don't even provide taxes or jobs to American citizens that they should. They're American companies and they offshore jobs. But we'll go and conquer another country for them. I mean, if anyone knows, anyone's been around for a while, you've heard about Smedley Butler. He straight up told the truth, and nobody gives a shit. Just like that military-industrial complex speech back then. They didn't give a shit. Our great-grandparents, they didn't give a shit. Their parents didn't give a shit. If they gave a shit, they would have fucking listened to them. But they didn't. And look, we are where we are. Because people didn't give a shit. And those who did were far, far, far outnumbered by those who don't or didn't. People overall don't give a shit until it's right in their face, affecting them in a very real way. You might recall a movie called The Day Earth Stood Still. Has Keanu Reeves in it. I'm not sure who else, but basically he's an alien, and he is having a conversation with a professor about why they shouldn't he shouldn't destroy the planet or the people on the planet specifically and everything they've built. And the professor said something pretty profound, I think, that people will not change until they are on the precipice of extinction or something to that effect. I don't remember it word for word, but it was basically that. That's the gist of it. And so here we are. Like I said, these generations, they just didn't give a shit what was going on. As long as they could go to the grocery store or whatever was the deal back then, they were happy. They didn't give a shit. And here we are, 2019, and people still don't give a shit. Not enough to not cooperate anyway. They're going to cooperate because they like having electricity. They like having gasoline. They like their modern conveniences. But there's things that are so much more important than these really useless items now, seeing how there's other technologies that can replace them easily. But no one gives a shit. Not enough to give up their cushy lifestyles. And don't get me wrong, those who have it hard, they're not in a position to give a shit. They're fucked either way. So there's that. This war rhetoric, this march to war, is ugly, and it's a desperate attempt to gain support. He's going to go through with it because he don't want to look weak. And we're going to end up paying the price. All behind lies. All behind lies, like every other war. And by the way, if he decides to not do anything and remove our military from the area, Israel will do something to draw us right back in. That's how it works. Someone wants to leave, say, fuck this, we don't want to have any kind of conflict with this nation. Somebody finds a reason or makes a reason for it to happen. And I can refer you to numerous wars, going all the way back to the Spanish-American War. Of course, most of you know this already. Anyway, don't be sucked in by the patriotic bullshit every time such a conflict arises. I mean, at DC Clothesline, for example, they're pushing anti-Iran propaganda. And I'm not anti-anybody. I just want my existence to be free. And, well, I guess I am anti-government, so there's that. Because with government, you'll never be free. Kill the state, and you'll live free.